Like, I get it. There's plenty of room on the market for a premium Nintendo Switch controller. I'm a big fan of the Xbox Elite controller. Having a controller with all of these customization options is awesome. You can get your controller to work best for you, and that's what this PowerA Fusion Pro controller is trying to channel. But as much as I like the Elite controller, I don't actually own one myself because I just can't justify that price point. And as cool as I think something like this is, I think there might be even less justification for something like this on the Switch. Unless you maybe, I don't know, drive a Lexus or something. Maybe you like big fancy watches or something. I don't know, maybe you're one of those.
This video is sponsored by Magic Spoon. What's up, Brent? Still eating baby cereal for babies?
Shut up, Chad. Go make fun of Bob.
Oh, cool Bob? I can't, he's eating adult cereal today.
Wait, that's just Bob, right?
Yeah, he's wearing a leather jacket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool Bob.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, that cereal has 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. It's only 140 calories.
Oh, okay, well, it probably tastes like trash.
Nope, it comes in frosted, fruity, cocoa, and peanut butter. My favorite's the fruity one.
Is this an ad or something?
Yes, of course. Magic Spoon is keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. And it tastes just like the sugary good stuff, but it's much better for you. Click the link below to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use the promo code WolfDen at checkout to get $5 off your order. Or go to magicspoon.com/WolfDen. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So click the link below and use the code WolfDen for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/WolfDen to save $5 off today.
What's up, cool Bob? The way that you know that this is a premium product is the amount of useless plastic that it comes with. But it does come with this nice big premium case a la an Xbox Elite controller. In fact, a lot of what we have here is taken from an Elite controller. Well, actually, this is modeled after the PowerA Fusion controller for Xbox, which was marketed as a less expensive Elite controller. They sent this to me way back in the day. Oh, it even has the same exact case. I never ended up making a video on this because this is mostly a Nintendo Switch channel. But I did buy the Nintendo one myself because I guess they're mad that I never made a video on this last one that they sent me. Ooh, the faceplate even comes off on this one. This is the exact same controller. So even though this Nintendo one is $100, which is a lot for a Nintendo Switch controller, it's still not as much as an Xbox Elite controller. So it's in this weird middle ground that doesn't really exist on the Nintendo Switch market. Sure, there are fight pads and stuff that could be more money, but this is essentially just a Pro controller with a few more bells and whistles. The star here are the paddles on the back, of course, and the entire piece is completely removable. It comes with this little cover to seal up the hole that's left over. You could also remove each paddle individually if you just want the top 2 or bottom 2. The only problem with that is that there's nowhere to put them, unlike an Xbox Elite controller, which has a space for them in the case. It does come with a lot of customization stuff, like 2 thumbsticks, one long one and one long one with a weirdly rounded top. It also comes with a big-ass 10-foot braided USB-C cable, which you love to see. And to my surprise, ooh, a white faceplate that snaps on very easily.
Oh. Ooh.
I was a little pissed because I thought I ordered the white version and it came like this with the black one on the box. But now I understand why. The more customization options, the better. Everything that comes included in this box helps justify that $100 price point just a little bit. The controller has about the same heft as an Xbox Series X controller. It has these really nice feeling rubber grips on the back and just all around feels incredibly well made, aside from the buttons. I mean, they feel good to press. They're a bit clickier than a Pro controller's buttons. They're just jiggly. They're not sitting in the case right. Even slapping the thumbstick against the side of the gate will cause the buttons to jiggle. And that's like the only indication that this isn't a first-party controller. Everything else feels fantastic. When you grasp it in your hands, it feels like it's better build quality than Nintendo's own Pro controller, which by comparison just feels like cheap plastic. The Fusion controller's thumbsticks are a lot closer to an Xbox controller's thumbsticks, which is a good thing because I like those thumbsticks the most. The faceplate has what they call an anti-friction ring around it, which sounds like a dumb marketing thing, but it actually feels really nice. You might notice on your Pro controller you have some white residue on the thumbsticks. That's created by the thumbsticks rubbing the plastic off of your thumbstick gate. On the PowerA Fusion, the thumbsticks slide around really nicely. It's a difference that you'll immediately feel when you use it. The triggers feel pretty similar to the Pro controller's triggers. They're buttons, so there will be no pressure sensitivity when pressed down. The D-pad is fine, which is okay because I don't even like the Pro controller's D-pad that much. And if I'm going to mainly be using the D-pad on a controller, I am definitely not using this controller. I will be using my 8BitDo Pro 2 or this thing. Well, I still don't know what to call this. Keyboard controller, the modded 8BitDo fight stick that isn't a stick. Anyway, this might be the best feeling aftermarket controller that I've ever felt for the Nintendo Switch, which is all well and good, but this is $40 more than what the going rate is right now for an actual Nintendo Switch Pro controller. So for $40 extra, you're getting a slightly better feeling controller. You're also getting a case, the braided cable, customizable thumbsticks and faceplate, and the back paddles, which I guess is the most tantalizing feature. Programming buttons to these paddles is very easy. You just hold the program button for 3 seconds, press the button you would like to map, and then press the paddle you would like to map it to. It's very simple and easy to do on the fly. This is handy in games like Call of Duty Warzone, where a back paddle just makes more sense for something like a melee attack, which is usually mapped to the thumbstick by default and easy to press by accident. But this is a Nintendo Switch controller. I'm having a really hard time finding a use for these paddles for any of the games that I play. Maybe I can map jump to it in Smash Brothers, but I use tap jump. Maybe some people are playing Overwatch or Fortnite on their Switch, but if you're that try-hard on a game like those, then you're probably already playing those games on a different console. These paddles would be way more useful if there were macro or even just turbo functions on this controller. Turbo is way more useful for Nintendo Switch games than it is for any other console. Having a back paddle that is dedicated to turbo for a specific button would be very useful for games like Animal Crossing or Pokemon, which we've talked about pretty extensively here on this channel already. The paddles are a little bit easy to hit by accident. You can't hold the controller without holding the paddles. I'd probably rock it with the bottom two paddles out of the controller. I guess they'll just be loose in the case. Of course, it has other standard features you'd expect from a Switch controller, like wireless. There's a switch on the back to swap between Bluetooth mode and wired mode, which is a little strange. I don't know why it wouldn't just do that automatically. This switch also prevents the controller from syncing via the USB-C cable, so you have to use the sync button to sync it wirelessly. which is a bit annoying. This leaves it open to some syncing problems in the future. If you've ever had a problem syncing a controller to your console, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I also noticed there's no battery status in the Switch's menu for some reason. I don't think I've ever seen that before on an aftermarket controller. Maybe there's just something wrong here. Also, unfortunately, this controller cannot be remapped in the Switch's menu like a Pro controller can. But you'll be happy to know that this is one of the only aftermarket controllers I've tested that will actually wake the Switch from sleep mode wirelessly. Not many third-party controllers have this functionality. There's also no amiibo functionality, which I don't think will be missed very much. There's also motion controls, but the motion controls don't work when the controller is wired for some reason. I get that they don't want you to get tangled up in the wire or pull your Switch off of your desk, but it's not like we're playing Wii Tennis. And with a 10-foot cable, this really shouldn't be anything to worry about. It's also listed that this controller doesn't have HD rumble, but it really just doesn't have rumble at all, which is fine. I never miss rumble when it's not there, but it is a weird thing to exclude when the controller is $100. Oh, and I almost forgot another main feature that this thing has over a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, the headphone jack. When voice chat and wireless controllers became a thing, console manufacturers had a problem to solve. They had to ask themselves, how are we going to get players to communicate with other players if they were going to be so far away from their console over on their couch somewhere? This was solved very easily by the great minds over on the Xbox 360. That was the Stone Age. When it came time for Nintendo to finally join us in the modern era, they decided, you know what? F you gotta use your phone. Anyway, it's a bit of a disappointment, but the Fusion Pro's headphone jack only works when it's wired to the Nintendo Switch. It has a 3-ring headphone jack, so you can use it to hear game audio and talk to your teammates in games that aren't developed by Nintendo. But you can only do it via a wired connection. GG's, you're bad though, trash, actual garbage. I spent a lot of time talking about the negatives of this controller, but I really do like it. The best thing about it isn't any of the features, it's just that it feels really good to hold and play. It feels like a $100 premium controller, which is why I'm calling it the Luxury Pro controller. I think going forward, I might reach for this over my Pro controller for games that require a Pro controller. Don't worry, I'm still going to use my 8BitDo arcade pad and Pro 2 for 2D games. If I don't explicitly say that, people are going to be like, oh, traitor, I bought a Pro 2 because of you. I use that for 2D games. I think I like the Fusion Pro controller more than an actual Nintendo Pro controller, but only really because I bought it to make this video. It's really hard to recommend this controller because of how expensive it is, and it really doesn't offer that much more than what a Pro controller already has. It's really cool that it gives you a lot of customization options, but I just don't see the need for Elite style customizations on a Nintendo Switch. Maybe if you're that try hard at Splatoon, just make sure it's charged or else your motion controls won't work. Even if you use a Pro controller for Smash Brothers, those people like having stick notches. It would be pretty cool to carve stick notches into one of these faceplates if you're savvy with a Dremel. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you just like dropping stupid money on your gaming setup. Maybe you have a Lexus, or you're one of those people with a big fat stupid watch, or maybe you got one of those shirts that says AX on it. Or maybe I'm just missing something. Maybe there is a Nintendo Switch game out there that would benefit from having 4 paddles on the back. So what do you guys think? Is there a game out there that I missed? Is there a use case for this that you can think of that would be worth $100 for a Pro controller? Leave it in the comments below. Add me on Twitter and any and all of this other social media garbage. As always, we got new videos here all of the time, at least once a week. Make sure you're subscribed so that you see that, and turn on notifications because YouTube's been very weird lately. And make sure you're clicking on those notifications when they come up. Leave a like, watch the video all the way to the end. I appreciate you being here this long. Another way to help support us is over on twitch.tv/Wulff. I'm over there live all the time. We can hang out. We can have a live conversation with each other. You can ask me questions over there. Also supporting our sponsors help. Thank you, Magic Spoon. Don't forget to check them out. And of course, the most important thing that you can do is just subscribe again and share this video with a friend. A friend who, I don't know, wears a big watch and wants to drop $100 on a stupid controller. Thank you very much. Have yourself a very good week.